Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. Today the market is moving basically in line with expectations. We're dropping further, moving further to my price target in the range between or below 28.7k for Bitcoin. Also Cardano dropped further like we discussed yesterday after it broke the head and shoulders. And pretty much the whole market is dropping. We talked about it in several altcoin videos yesterday that further drops are expected and we are approaching the next key support lines. So let's start with Bitcoin first. Bitcoin is currently here in this larger correction. We talked about it. ABC correction, where you have your A, B to the upside, C to the downside. We're currently here in this bit messy area. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take out this yellow target area here. This was the target area that we reached in this current wave 4. So Bitcoin moved up here in a wave 4. And until we really had here the lower lows, we didn't really know if the wave 4 is already complete. Personally, I would say yes. It's still not confirmed. Nothing has been invalidated. But I think I'm going to take this target area out. We put it on the chart after we had the low here at 33k. This was the target area for the wave 4. And I think this is now complete. You still see the 4 here. And we are heading down in a wave 5. Okay, so for this wave 5, I showed you the first target areas for these moves here. 1, 2, 3. For the wave 3 here, I've put this target area down here between 37 and 38.9k. And that is exactly what we reached today. Given that we have now reached already the first fib level, that was the 1.618 extension of the wave 1 here at 38.8. We've broken that. So my view is that we should, if the price does not now go up a little bit, and if that remains below 38.8, that we're also going to see the next Fibonacci level that is at 200% at 37.2k. So we can just put it on the chart briefly. But that is typically the price target area, the simplest one for a wave 3. And that is how you can typically easily calculate it. And here you can see that. So this is the range between 38.8, 38.9 and 37.3. The 1.618 and the 200%. So I would expect it to drop further. And actually, as we speak, it's already dropping further. Now at 38.6. So that is all going in line with expectation. It's great because that makes it much more likely that my primary expectation here for a Bitcoin price drop into the area down here is actually going to work out. Of course, we're still a little bit further away from that. Of course, there are more support levels along the way. Like here, the next key one would be at 36.5. This previous swing low, the wave B low. And then, of course, we've got here this area around 33k, the wave 3 low. But before we get there, we first have to play out here the wave 3, the smaller wave 3. Then we will have something like a retracement, a wave 4. That could be, again, a boring one. You know how I dislike the wave 4s. And then you're coming down here in a final wave 5. That is at least at the moment how I can see it. Of course, it could play out differently. We could get something like an extended wave 3. And if I see that, we have to move the wave 3 target box lower than this. As a consequence, the wave 4 target area would also drop. And then, I think the wave 5 might stay because it depends on the wave 5 is in this scenario very, very long already. So we need to see, I think one wave needs to be extended. Otherwise, in the next imminent move, it won't be reached. So this is, however, at the moment playing out. We're also moving further down. We dropped below the 39k level. That was another key support level. And I told you, if we drop below 39, then I think we can see quite a bit of downside fast. Of course, nothing moves in a straight line, but I think we can expect then some sort of faster downside. So looking at the indicators, I mean, we talked about it few days ago when we were at 45k still, or 44k, that the decision would be made here on the daily time frame, looking at the indicators. And I think on the same day we were here around the 15th of February, we saw the buying pressure reduce on the MACD. That was expected and also turned into a bearish crossover. And I said if we are going to really see that bearish crossover on the daily MACD, even though the MACD on the, for example, on the 4-day chart didn't look too bad, that we are going to turn down and that the price would really have difficulties to hold the above 40k level. And yeah, this is what we see now. You see the daily MACD turn red, and there is currently no sign of recovery, especially as on the daily RSI, we are now back here below 50, which is the bearish range. We are now nearly below 40 as well, and we are getting closer to the oversold area, but we are still quite far away from the from the oversold area. You know, when Bitcoin dropped here from into the oversold area the last time, we obviously saw quite a bit of a reaction to the upside from 33 to 46k. Yeah. Now Bitcoin is not yet in the oversold area. As soon as it gets on the daily in the oversold area, there you can expect some sort of a counter reaction again. So watch out for that one. On the 4-hour chart, we already oversold, which then again aligns perfectly with my target area here. So you've got here the wave 3 target area somewhere in here. Ideally at the next fib level here, the 200% at 37.3. Somewhere in here we should then see the reaction, because on the 4-hour you are now oversold. So you need a little bit of a counter reaction to move higher again. And that could then be that wave 4. That would, we need to see where the wave 3 lands. Otherwise I can't really give you a target area for the wave 4. At the moment I've put it as 40.1 and 41.8k, these targets for the wave 4. That would be the next wave up. Nothing significant, but because we are already oversold on the 4-hour chart. I mean, last time here when we dropped to 33k, we were much more oversold. But typically, when you get into the area just below 30, as you can see here, and the last time in beginning of January, then end of December, it happens quite frequently. But then you can expect some sort of a price move to the upside. It doesn't need to be something crazy. Could also be maybe just a bit of sideways movement, okay? But yeah, expect that on the 4-hour MACD as well. It was just about to move bullish again, but now it has had another hit and possibly could move lower again. It avoided a bullish crossover, which is actually a bearish sign. So the 4-hour RSI could possibly drop a little bit lower, yeah, because the MACD momentum is turning down again. Here on the hourly chart, yes, you can see at the moment even a little bit of a bullish divergence. Bear in mind, it's only the daily, the 1-hour chart. It's not too meaningful. The question is really how much lower can it go? It's already here in the oversold range, just above 20, and it could mean that we're going to see a little bit of a sideways movement, or yeah, this counter reaction that I said, because it has broken out of this triangle here yesterday. We talked about it in this video, in my last video, talked about this triangle, and that it could be classed as a trend continuation pattern, and that we're going to head down. And not only looking at, I'm not only looking at patterns here, but what is more important, that it aligned very well with my Elliott Wave count as well. So it was very likely to move lower than this. And yeah, we've even, if you just wanted to take the price target, the traditional, how you would do it, traditional price target for that breakout, we've actually reached it now, okay? You take the height of that triangle, add it to the breakout point, and yeah, this would have taken us to just below 39k as well. So yeah, overall, continues to be here in line with my expectation. Remember that I remained bearish even when we approached here the 46k. Of course, there was an alternative, but my primary scenario remained that we're going to drop lower than here. Is there still a chance that we could turn around here to the upside? To be honest, there is always a chance, and there's still a chance that we could move above the 46.5k and then move to higher levels. Not all-time highs, I think, but still the chance is there. However, it gets much, much less likely after this series of lower lows and lower highs. Much less likely, and I would be very confident that we're now getting to the 33k and possibly then even here, I mean, that is what I expect, into the area between 28.7k and 20k Of course, nothing moves in a straight line. Please always remember that. But the most important thing is we've dropped below 39K. That was the high of the wave A here, a very important level. And overall, yeah, I think we are following here this current process that we talked about since November. So I always get the questions, should I sell now? And I can only tell you what I'm doing, because I can't tell you what you should do. Absolutely not. Everybody needs to make their own financial decisions. Personally, I'm not selling. I'm actually accumulating at the current price levels. I think it is absolutely the wrong time to sell. I wouldn't do it, not at the moment, and I don't do it. I'm buying at the moment. Yeah, I'm dollar cost averaging into various cryptos, because these levels, even though I do expect another drop, first of all, these drops are never guaranteed. And the drop that could happen could end very fast. Of course, I don't know, but it could be just a wick to the downside. It could end very fast. From there, we could be higher and be very quickly back above 40K. Okay, so that is why I don't sell. Also, selling at a loss, some people might want to do it, but then I would have sold at 53K. I said when we dropped below 53K that this scenario would get activated as primary scenario from my point of view, where we would then drop below 28.7K, and since then we've been on the way to that, but not now when we've already dropped like 20, 30, 40%. And also it has tax implications, so everybody again needs to decide that for themselves. In some countries, when you sell at a profit, it could be, if you do it in a unfortunate way, that your whole income that you also get from other income sources gets taxed higher. If you make a certain profit in crypto or in selling assets, then your whole income will probably jump to the next tax band, which will, in many cases, depending on in which country you live, make it much less profitable if you sell. So yeah, I'm not selling at the moment. I'm accumulating, waiting for the next wave up that can take Bitcoin to 100, 150K. And yeah, it might take a little bit of time, but the current levels, to be honest, are from my point of view very attractive. And also for many altcoins, which have actually dropped in percent much more than Bitcoin. And history has shown that when prices come down to these levels, they are close to the low. Of course, there is another major drop here expected from where we currently are for Bitcoin, but the altcoins have limited downside potential, I think, especially given from where they are coming from. And bear in mind, we are still very, very much in the beginning of the crypto market. And then I know from personal experience, many years in the past, when I sold at sort of levels like these, of course, in a different asset class, but then what it happens, you move down, then you move up again. For example, here in a wave 4, you panic, you buy back higher, and then it gives the final drop. So be aware if you do it that you don't get tricked, because it's very hard. It's harder than just in theory on paper thinking about it. Of course, I sell now and I buy back later, but it's very hard to do in practice. So bear that in mind. And yeah, overall, I'm just accumulating. These are buying times for me. It's not selling time. Selling time will be when we are at new all-time high level or get close to new all-time high level. I did tell you that, yeah, I'd only sell here if we are making significant moves up first before we come down to my target area, and that was my alternative. It hasn't happened, so my primary scenario seems to be playing out here. Looking at Cardano, we're also dropping further in line with expectations. Yesterday in the video, we talked about this support line that was broken, the head and shoulders. Here we have this head and shoulders pattern on the chart. I talked about now that it was broken. It did break the neckline here, that we can expect lower prices, probably to 92 cents, and now we are already at 0.937 US dollars. So we're really only a cent or a couple of cents away. So that played out. We had here also this wedge pattern with us approaching the apex. So that played out as well. So I'm going to take that out now because it was broken. So all of that also here in line with expectations. You are now still in this larger descending wedge here in orange. You can see it. And we're approaching with a fast pace the lower support line here in orange that falls very much in line with the red support line, the horizontal one here at 92 cents. 92 cents is the line where we found support here previously, which was on the 22nd of January, the last major Bitcoin drop, and now we're nearly at the same level again. Bear in mind, ADA is currently being outperformed by Bitcoin because Bitcoin has dropped not yet to 33K level, not yet to the level that it dropped to on this day. But ADA is pretty much back at this level. So overall, if you lose the 92 cents, which I think is fairly likely in the current environment, I think we are going to see the next Fibonacci retracement levels here in the range between 55 and 30 cents. There is, of course, another support. So we've got here the 80-cent level. There is support here, just technical support. And then we've got a long wick to the downside and an area of trade here back in February. And that is at 70 cents. So there are some support levels along the way. But I think if we break this one here, 92 cents, then you're going to see those lower levels at 55 or even 30 cents, even though I think 30 is fairly unlikely, but never say never. And bear in mind, at the current level where we are, we have also broken the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement level, which is sitting at 96 cents for Cardano. So that was broken as well. So yeah, I think we are here heading further down. Also, if we look on the daily chart, so that is more meaningful, look on the daily chart, we are here back on the RSI also below 50. We've basically been below 50 since September. So as long as we don't have a sustainable break to the upside, it will stay in that range and lead to further selling momentum. And here the MACD turned bearish as well. We talked about, and I can't stress enough how important I find the MACD for evaluating crypto charts. So that is working really well. Here, a similar picture to Bitcoin as well. The RSI 4 hour in the oversold area, meaning that we should find some support soon. But yeah, that support could come now or at the 92 cent area as expected. So that was the next target level that has been reached nearly. But the MACD has also turned here more bearish even. No bullish crossover, indicating actually a little bit more downside. Yeah, that is my view here on Cardano and Bitcoin. Bear in mind, when the correction is then finally over, that it could be a fast start to the upside. That is what I expect. But first we need to see this wave 5 play out that Cardano seems to be in as well. So that seems to be playing out as well, because in the last couple of weeks I told you that Cardano might have already seen its wave 4. Yeah, it did that here when it moved up quite strongly, and that it was already starting its correction to the downside in a 5-wave move. Here we had the wave 1. This was the wave 2, that we might now be in a wave 3, which normally is quite fast, and that within this wave 3 we might have already seen here the first wave 1, 2, or maybe even here 1, 2, 3, 4, and that this is the 5th one where we're going to find support at the 92 cent level. But typically I don't think this is the 5th one, because the wave 3 would normally have to go higher than the wave 1, otherwise it won't work, or we have to talk about a 1-2 setup or something. But a bit too early to say that. I think the wave 3 should come lower, but I'll keep you updated about that. Obviously we had the head and shoulders broken and now approaching the 92 cent level. Okay, hopefully you liked the update about Bitcoin and Cardano. If you did, please smash the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you really like the content, maybe check out the channel membership where you can get additional content. Yesterday I published my 2022 outlook for Bitcoin. I will also update it with Cardano today and some other altcoins. So there's more to come there, a lot of additional content, my buy and sell orders as well, even though I said that at the moment for me it's mainly buying time. And you can also join a weekly live stream, which is today, in the later today. All right, so hopefully, yeah, you liked the video, and see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.